You remember how to open Notepad? You guys remember it's an external program ran by the PGP file in AutoCAD? You don't have to go to the start menu. Just type Notepad.
Mine says first file to edit.
Because that's what it wants to know. Just hit enter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do a file save as. You got Notepad open?
So it says notepad file to edit.
Enter.
Just hit enter. And it should open. Right?
Hmm.
You got Notepad open?
Yeah, it's just.
Then do a file save as, and we're going to save it in that scripts folder that you made. And let's call it, how about box line? Because we're going to make a box and we're going to use the line command. Oh, I don't have the computer up. Okay, so I saved it as box line. And then let's type that stuff in and see if we can't get it to work. It is not case sensitive unless you are placing M text. Okay, then it will use the case that you're using.
Are we writing both of them, or are we?
No, just write one. And then we'll just edit it real quick and do it the other way to make sure it works.
Okay.
And I'll do a file save. You good? Everybody good?
Yeah, and then file save.
Yes, please. Okay, I'm not going to close that. I'm just going to drag it over to the other screen. And let's run it. So in AutoCAD, how do we start a script? SCR. Okay.
Says mine's not
Mine says empty, right?
Make sure down on the bottom. Okay, because mine defaulted like drawing one dot script.
Oh, it didn't save it as a script.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Yeah,
saved it
darn
as
it.
a text, TXT.
Yeah, I forgot one step there.
Okay.
I saved mine as a text file too.
Me too. Okay, save
The
it.
file must be saved with an SCR extension. So we're going to call this box line dot SCR. And we've got to give it that extension.
Okay, Lisa Newfound.
Okay, file, save as, go back to the same thing. Now, when you're doing the save as, it will place in Notepad, and you look up here real quick, I'm in save as of Notepad, it's going to save it by default as a text document, right? You got to take that off. Okay, so use your little drop down arrow, and I think all files or none or something is, yeah, just choose all files, and then call the thing boxline.scr. Okay, that'll change stuff. Okay, now it pops up. Hit open and see if it ran. If it doesn't run all the way,
Ah,
okay, yours ran?
no,
It did.
I already had that.
Oh, you already had that? Well, delete. You might get two of them on there. And try it again. Okay, ran it perfect. Gabe, yours go?
Yeah.
Now, folks, when you're debugging these things, when you do them that have many, many things in them, it will stop wherever it has an extra enter key or something like that. And it will say, hey, I don't know what to do. And you can then kind of figure out where stuff was at.
That's what I
Yours
use.
ran all the way, so everything's good. Now, if you put an extra couple spaces at the end, guess what's going to happen?
Read me the last line.
Every time it hits a space, it's going to do what? Enter key. In AutoCAD, when you hit the enter key, what does it do? Reinstitutes the last command, right? And so you kind of got to watch that in your debugging. If you got extra spaces in here, you know, when I come to the end of this, like let me kind of screw mine up. Okay. So I'm going to come in here. I've got one space at the enter, and I'm going to toggle to the next line because that's another enter, right? Okay. Now I'm going to just do a file save. Then let me come back here. And I'll do a Control Z, then SCR, and let's run that guy. Okay, now, notice on my command line, it ran it, but now it's saying specify first point. It's gone back into the line command, says I want some information here, right? And so you kind of got to watch for this, where you have these extra spaces. Should we change it for the rectangle?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just pull it back up and edit this. Rectangle. So I got three items on there. File save. Make sure in AutoCAD I Control Z to get rid of everything, and we'll rerun it using the rectangle command. Oh, RECT does not work. So I gotta use rectangle.
So this one has to be a completely new one?
No, just delete your line out and just type in the rectangle. And you gotta use RECTANG. I tried RECT, it didn't work.
Did you rename it? I didn't rename it.
No, I just left the same name. You might want to rename it as box rectangle or something, I don't know.
I like this better than the CUI. I like that.
Yeah, these are actually,
This is
I
actually fun.
I enjoy the heck out of these
It's
things.
fun. Instant gratification. I like that. Still my style, right?
Instant gratification, yes.
Yes.
I wake up and somebody hands me a crown.
Uh-huh. I like that.
Missy, how you doing back there?
I didn't get my rectangle one.
Okay, let's look at it. Okay, got it. Should we see if we can modify this a little bit? What should we do to this to modify it? How about, just to see how things work a little bit, let's say, should we add a circle in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get this middle and we're going to add a circle. And what size do you want to make it? Looks like we got 4 by 4, right? So let's make it a diameter 1.5. So we need to know these coordinates, right? Because think of how a circle works. Center, radius. That's what it wants by default. So it's easiest to work that way. So first odd thing we need to do, Since we're going to, remember, this is a repetitive process, so it's okay to sit there and draw it once, because you're saying, hey, I draw this 5 times a day, why am I drawing this, right? So get all your coordinates. So what's our center point right here?
6. 6.
Well, I don't know, just draw it on your computer. And then check the properties. Doesn't it give you the center? Everybody got the center? So the circle. Okay, so now we've got, let me just kind of write this down. We've got rectangle, space, 4, comma, 4. Is it 8, comma 8? Okay. Now, we might have a space at the end of this, but we're going to have another line on this now. But by the way, I can keep going in one line, just all the way, but it's not good programming. Okay, make sure when you're switching from one command to the next, do a line or something like that so that when somebody's debugging it, they can see all these different components. Okay. So I'm not going to, no space at the end because toggling to the next line is same as enter, right? Now, how do I get into the circle command? And do circle. And then it asks for the center point, right? So I need space, 6, comma, 6, space. Now it wants diameter or radius, right? It wants radius by default.
So D.
No, don't need to hit. If I want to go D, then I would put D, enter, right?
So it was radius, and then you just have to get down to that.
Then I just have to put 0.75 because it didn't need it.
So I would, I'll just put 0.75.
Yeah, let's try and keep them easy. So 0.75.
Okay, when you say toggle to the next, you just hit enter, or is there different? what do
You can
say?
just hit enter right here and it'll
Is it-
toggle to the next line. Now I need another space for it to take the 0.75. Okay, let's add this line to it. So first thing you want to do in AutoCAD, we got everything we need. Hit Control Z, get back to where it tells you at the bottom, nothing to do. Then open your script. Then you want to make sure if you've got an enter on the end of that rectangle line, you need to take that off because you're going to have an enter going to the next line. So circle, space, 6, comma 6, space 0.75, space, file save. Then go ahead and run it. You should have this.
Good idea.
Right?
I like that.
Should we go ahead and edit this a little bit? How about we copy this circle to each corner? Okay, you want to do that? Or do you want to trim it?
No, we're copy it first. Let's go copy it.
Want to copy it? Okay. So what we're going to end up here with is we're going to have these 4. We've already got those coordinates, right? We already know where those are at. So we're using absolute coordinates, not relative. coordinates. The big thing here is how do you get selected? Okay, so when I come in for my code, I'm going to use something you can see. I'm going to use copy, right? And then a space. Now, how am I going to select that circle? Because in all the modifies, you got to select.
Do last. Right?
Is it previous or last? Nice, Gabe, you got it right. Man, there's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Right,
Okay, L, what does L do?
those are the last.
It's one of your selection options, right? Last piece of geometry drawn, selected. What's the circle, the last piece of geometry drawn? Okay, now, that certainly all of your selection options work here. Previous, all, last, window, all these. They all work. Okay? Just to show you a little bit different way, let's not use the last. Let's use a crossing window. Okay? Crossing window and the window are all by default, right? You just click and drag to the right, you got your window selection, anything inside. Click, drag to the left, it's green, anything inside plus touching. Okay, so you don't have to put CW for crossing polygon or CP. But we do need some coordinates. I want to select this. Okay, so we're just going to give it for select objects. Okay, let's just make a little green box that does something like this. So this is going to be my first point right here. That's going to be 1. This one down here is 2. Okay. Right, isn't that the way you use a green window? Okay. So what are the coordinates? Well, I know this guy 6, 6, right? Now I can go out there and I can go ahead and draw and click and get exact coordinates, but I think we can just estimate this. Or I would say this corner is going to be, let's see, where 6, let's go 7 in the X, 6 in the Y, and this corner will be 6 in the X. Yeah, that should get it. It's only got a 0.75 radius. 6, and then I want to be, those are 4s, let's go 5. That should get it for me, right? Okay. So I'm going to do copy. By the way, copy immediately goes into select objects, right? So I'm going to do 7, 6, enter, 6, 5, enter. Okay, now what do I need?
Where to put it?
Each important.
How do you get out of select objects for a modify command? Try it. If you want to see if this works, just run this right here on the command line. Type it in, copy, enter for your selection window.
Choose the center of the circle.
What's that?
We have to pick the copy point.
Pick them.
Like the point that we're copying from, like on the circle, right?
Yeah, as long as you get it selected.
Base point.
So you missed something. How did you get out of select objects? That's where we're at here. You had to hit enter again, didn't you, to get out of select objects?
Yeah.
Once you're done selecting, you hit enter. So there needs to be another enter right here, doesn't there?
Oh, it's good.
And that's getting you out of select objects. And then it wants to know the base point, which is going to be 6, 6, right? And then your destination point, which will be all these coordinates right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in. So I got circle, and now I'm doing copy, space, 7, 6, 6, 5, space, 6, 6, space.
So why don't you keep it on that same line for the, where you want to put it?
Hmm?
You keep on the same line where you're putting it? After 6, 6, you want.
Now 6, 6 is a base point. Then I hit enter, right, to get out of that, and then it says, where do you want to go?
Yeah, then you put all those in the next line.
Now you could say, because since you're at 6, 6, you could say at 2 over 2, or I can say 8 comma 8, whatever the case might be. You can get there a couple different ways. Remember, you can use relative or absolute or whatever, but you just gotta have them all calced out. I went absolute, so I've got it copy all the way through. I think I need 2 spaces at the end, I'm not sure. So, how far are you? Have you got through the copy section? And you got your selection window in there?
6, okay. Space. What was this one? 8 on.
Did yours run, Gabe?
Huh?
Did yours run?
No. They only put it in one corner.
Let me see if I can get mine to go.
Only put it in the bottom corner.
Okay, so it only got one corner for me too. So test it. Glad I did get it selected, that's good.
We only got one corner too.
Okay, how are we gonna get that extra corner?
I only
The
got
extra
one.
corners, because mine's only got 1, 2.
Me too, mine's got 4, 4.
Okay, because remember, it's running off the old command line stuff.
Okay.
So it's hitting 4, 4.
Then you have to copy it again. This guy, you're going to base point your copy.
Okay, that's an option. You could run the copy command, just copy this line of text down to the next layer and put a new destination point. Okay, that's one option. Is there a different option that you can get? Does copy got a multiple options?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, where does it occur? Okay, so you gotta kind of figure that out. So I'm gonna do copy, select objects. Looks like I gotta go into mode, and then multiple, right? Let's see if this works. Remember, try not to use your mouse when you're trying these. Work it off the command line and see if you can get it to work. Yep, that's working. Okay, so I gotta add that code.
Did took it off so we couldn't see what you were doing.
I wanna write something down before I do, 'cause I wanna get my keystrokes. So copy, first I gotta select, that's good. Now get out of select. No, somewhere else, copy. Select. Enter. Okay, so it's right after, it's right before base point. Okay. So I gotta get an O, not a 0, an O. That's for mode. Space, multiple, space, and I think that's got it. Okay, so I'll put it up here.
Oh,
So,
that's M-O, okay.
so I got mode
O,
and then multiple. I added those 2 lines in. Okay, let's try it now. Okay, so it stopped on select objects. That's good, so you're chasing it now, right? I'm on base point.
and